All right, now, people are wondering, where did Donald Trump get this 3 to 4 million vote thing? Has he been doing research? Has he been pounding the pavement? Well, apparently, sometime in October, a man named Gregg Phillips of an organization he started called Vote Stand announced this on Twitter. Now, of course, on Twitter, he claimed that there was 3 to 4 million illegal votes. They didn't all go to Hillary, according to this Gregg Phillips at the time. Well, now, of course, he's being cited by Donald Trump in interviews as to where he got his facts. I don't think the implications he actually met with Gregg Phillips. It's that he read his tweet. That was an assertion, not a study, just an assertion. So in other words, if you wanted to start an organization called, let's say, Vote Sit, and get on Twitter and say, actually, the number's 15 million illegal votes, maybe Donald Trump would cite you in interviews that are broadcast around the world. So who knows? But here's Chris Cuomo interviewing Gregg Phillips to see, to get the details behind this assertion.
It's a very silly, simple circle that we're going in here right now. You say you can prove it. I say, okay,
Sure.
I trust you. You can prove it. Show me. You
We will.
say, I will, but you're not.
We will.
Can you give me an estimated date?
We believe that it will probably take another few months to get this done.
And yet, even though you need a few more months to get it done, you think you know the answer right now.
We're volunteers. We know we have the answer.
Even though you can't prove it, you think you know.
The number's actually bigger.
Well, whatever. You can say the number is whatever it is. You have to show it. One other question. You put this out in the beginning of November. The states didn't certify until after that. I think Vermont was one of the few ones that came out 4 days after you.
Sure.
So you couldn't have done it off certified voter returns because you wouldn't have had them. That was an impossibility of fact. So that means you must have based it on early voting returns. Is that a safe assumption?
In part.
Because you can't do it off the certified counts because you didn't have them when you put out the tweet.
But there's all sorts of ways, as you guys know about get out the vote, right? I mean, one of the ways that you do it is you have poll watchers there waiting to see who signs in.
That's not precise.
And whoever doesn't sign in, then you go get them.
That's not precise.
We are as precise as we need to be. More than 3 million non-citizens voted in this country in this election. We're prepared to prove it. We need a little more time. The president, should he choose to, can ask his attorney general and the Department of Homeland Security to make that match on a dime, make the decision. We don't have to do the work. You don't have to believe
you
me.
have to do the work.
You can believe the government.
You have to do it, Greg, because you can't say, I know this is true. Let's have them prove it.
We're doing it.
This is on you.
We're doing it as fast as we can.
Right, but you already said you had the answer. You understand what I'm saying?
We do.
But you understand that logically that doesn't go together. If I know the answer to something, it's because I've concluded my process of analysis, not because I'm in the middle of it.
Not necessarily. You can reach a conclusion and then still verify. You can still go back and double check and check. But then how do you know that you're right? That's exactly what we're doing. We're going back and seeing that we're right.
Then shouldn't you have waited to say that you know for sure before you were sure about it?
The other side of it is, so I'm a tweet. I mean, people say lots of things. People said I was a Russian spy.
Who cares what they say?
Right?
I only care about the facts.
Right.
And we have all these studies that have looked at all of these things.
If you care,
the professors that you put out there saying, no, this is who Trump is listening to, it's not us, they've been debunked by the guys who developed their data.
Wait, Chris, I didn't put any professor out there.
You said, I think Trump is referring to these two guys from George Mason University, those professors who put out a study. You're quoted as saying it.
No, I did not.
So somebody just put those words in your mouth?
Absolutely.
Oh. All right, well, that's another problem then, right?
Maybe.
All right. Will you let us know when you're going to tell everybody but us?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Greg, appreciate you having the conversation.
So I guess this clip doesn't really need any explanation. The guy has concluded, and in fact, he concluded over a month and a half ago that there were 3 to 4 million, maybe more, he said, illegal voters, not registrations, illegal voters in this country. They just need several more months to prove it. So it must have been a hunch. He seems pretty sure of it. This is like, look,
It's faith.
listen, you see this all the time on cop shows, right? Like, I know that guy did it. We just need to get the evidence. The only difference is that when they need to get the evidence, it's that they have evidence that establishes it, but it doesn't reach the subjective standards that are set in a court of law. In this instance, you could have models, I guess, that say, we have models that we've come up with, algorithms that show, but we just saw an election where we saw the failure of models. So this guy has information, but now there's also one other explanation. I want to be fair about this. It's possible this guy is talking to either an extra-dimensional or extraterrestrial source who has given concrete evidence, but of course he needs to protect them because they come from a different dimension or a different planet. And
You don't want to collapse the space-time continuum.
well, there's all sorts of issues. You don't want to collapse space-time continuum, but also, let's be honest. Let's be honest. If people are getting upset about what the Russians did, the anger that would be directed at these extraterrestrials would be extreme. So protecting them does make some sense. So maybe that's the answer. I don't know.
If you can make Chris Cuomo look as good as he did in that segment, you're really stupid.
That's true. That's true. Chris Cuomo did look like Perry Mason there. Hey, it's Sam Seder. Why don't you subscribe to this channel? You can do so right over here. Over. Subscribe.